This is a place.
This is the place.
This is a place. We want to talk about. This is a place. Welcome to this week's episode of This is a Place podcast. My name is Nate.
My name is Brandon.
And happy National Forgiveness Day. I forgive you, Brandon.
What did I do?
I don't know, but I forgive you.
Oh, well, thank you.
You've done a lot, Brandon. You've done a lot over the years
Like bad
that I've
stuff?
known you. You make me mad all the time
Well, the feeling is mutual, buddy.
when you don't like no Metallica and you don't.
I sent you something about Metallica today. Did
That's
you
true.
did
That's
you watch
true.
it? And I did the courtesy of tailoring it to your preferences.
It's true. But I get that video you sent me the other day, or the clip you texted me. I had to watch it literally, like, I think I was up at Snowbird. I had to watch it like 5, 6 times to be like, whoa, 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 what are they saying? I'm like, it was like chipmunks. I'm like, how do you, not even that, chipmunks, I feel like I understand. They were even, it reminded me, and I almost sent you a clip. You're probably way too young, but there was the Micro Machine guy in the commercials. There was
Okay.
a guy who talked, like, had the world record for speaking fast, and
Mm.
he was the spokesman for the Micro Machine cars. And it sounded just like that. I almost tried to search up a clip of him and send it to you, but then I got distracted like I normally do
It
and didn't
happens.
follow through. But before
Yeah,
we,
I
the Forgiveness Day, today is also National Sarah Day, and it says it's Sarah with an H, and that's I know I have a lot of Sarahs in my life, so happy National Sarah Day. You had your day a few weeks ago, National Brandon Day. Now we got Sarah Day,
gotta do
and I
it.
think we missed Nate Day that one day.
You know what it
Was
is?
this that day? I have no idea.
I wonder if there is a National Nate Day.
Feel like there's got to be.
There's not, but there is. You'll appreciate this. A National Nathaniel Day.
Nathaniel, I
Because
think
that's
I've
your
told you
real
that
name.
before. Yeah, people all the time like say that to me as if I would be embarrassed if that was my real name. And I'm like, number one, it's not my legal name. And two, I wouldn't care if it was. But is it Nate Bargatze that talks about going to the airport and his real name's Nathaniel
Hmm.
and his ticket says Nate? Yeah.
Yeah. Is that your
So
life?
I'm no, because my real name is Nathan, which is funny
But still, you've
because
got the
my
Nathan
mom
Nate thing going
My
on.
mom knew a guy named Nate and she hated him. And so nobody could call me Nate when I was growing up and she'd get mad,
Just an
but everybody
FYI.
did.
So I'm gonna just see if it happens to fall. It does not. We miss National Nathan Day by 2 days since our episodes come out on Wednesdays. Do you want to move it for that week? We can move it to a Friday and we can celebrate National Nathan
When
Day.
is it?
It's
Did
the
you say?
22nd of
Of
November.
this month?
Of
Oh, okay.
November.
November.
Yeah,
Ooh, that's close to your birthday. Now we
it
have something
is.
we can both celebrate.
Can I just have my own day? Like, do you need to?
No,
All right, it's okay. I forgive you.
you forgive me? See what you did there. Please forgive me. I know not what I do.
Okay.
Yeah?
One
Brian
thing we need
Adams?
to. What's that?
Brian Adams? No?
I don't know that
Don't know
song.
that one?
Sorry.
Okay.
I only know the Summer of '69. That's Bryan Adams, right?
This is correct. Oh, you know everything I do. I do it for you. Summer 69 is Brian Adams.
What's everything I do for you? I don't know if I know that one.
From Robin Hood. Everything I do it for you. There's no love
I don't know if I know that one.
like are you serious? That was like the biggest hit of like 1992.
Yeah, the year I was born,
You you don't know?
I was
I
busy
I
being a
guarantee. Oh my
baby.
goodness. Ouch. Ouch. See, again, you make me very upset a lot with your age difference.
Yes, I apologize for my age difference.
That actually came up a few times this last few days because I've been at girls' camp with
Ah,
your with some of your
some of my
extended family,
posse.
your in-laws.
Yes, and
I remind them of I think we've talked about it a few times. I mentioned it where we were talking like a year or so ago, and you were talking about one of the youth activities you liked or went on, where you went down to Provo,
mhm.
helped out the Special Olympics, and then you went camping in the mountains with the youth, and it was snowing and all that stuff.
Yep.
And I said, "Yeah, I was there." And you're like, "You were there?" I'm like, "Yeah, I was one of the leaders. You were just a kid." But it's been like it was just crazy like this week talking about like all the kids your age that are now your
Not
age
kids
still.
anymore.
They're
They're
still
still
your
my
age.
age.
They're still your age. They haven't aged out, but like how old and you guys are. It's just crazy.
We're not spring chickens anymore, that's for sure.
But your mother-in-law asked, and I didn't have the answer to it. Like when when did you move into our neighborhood? I mean, obviously you lived in the hood for a long time, but what year was it when you guys moved over around the corner?
My wife and I,
Yeah,
2015.
2015.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it
9 years
was,
ago.
I mean, I moved in there a couple days before we got married. So it was November of 2015.
Okay, that's crazy.
We've
I'm like,
almost been
well,
friends for
I'm like,
10
well, Brandon,
years.
I technically said I didn't really know. I'm sure I saw you as a youth, as a kid, a 14-year-old kid, but I'm like, I don't know if I would have recognized you when you like. I don't think I
I recognized
recognized you when you
you.
moved into.
I knew who
Yeah,
you were.
yeah.
Like
Everybody
I
knows
didn't
who.
didn't know your name, but I saw you and I was like, look at that leader. I bet he's a terrible leader. He just has a look.
Exactly. This is. I don't think I had long hair back there then either.
But you just see someone and you just
Dude, it
know.
drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. Like the other day, I went to pick up. Well, the guy fixed. That's another story. We don't want to go down that road. But the guy fixed my truck. That's shop. And
Uh,
I went in there like three times, and then a week later, well, literally 2 miles from leaving the shop, it started acting up again. But I had to go to Snowbird, so I went to Snowbird. So I'll take it back when we get back. So overall, I only had like 40 miles on the truck from I left the shop. But I took it back literally a week later. I'm like, hey man, it didn't take. And he looks at me like, hey, who are you? I'm like, are you serious? Like, you don't reckon, how do you not recognize a fat guy with long hair? And I'm like, and I would understand if it were like months later, but it drives me nuts when people are like, look at me like, who are you? And I'm like, because a lot of people are like, oh, I know that guy. I'm like, I don't know who you are because it's hard to miss the fat guy with long hair. Anywho, so yeah, I guess I technically known you for a long time, longer than that, but
yeah.
9 years.
Well, yeah, been 9 years. I don't know what point we flipped from just being
Well, I
ward
think
ward neighbors.
right. I think it was when we were both teaching the 12-year-olds. We were playing basketball together first a little bit, right?
Mm,
Then we're
okay.
teaching the 12-year-olds, and now those 12-year-olds are
On missions,
19.
graduated.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then so I think that's when we started becoming like more acquainted and friends. And it wasn't really till basketball and then really the podcast stuff.
Yeah.
That
I
was
think
just
it
like,
started with me and my brother played basketball at the stake center. And then we was like, we need to not play one on one every single day. We need to bring more
yes.
people in. And I knew you like basketball, so I invited you in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And that kind of evolved. And then COVID killed it, right?
It didn't kill our friendship. You can't kill our friendship.
Yeah. Nope.
One thing before, well, how was girls camp? Any fun stories? Anything fun happened?
Yes, of course. One, so I was supposed to go up Tuesday night and the whole truck situation. So when anyways, took the truck back, they didn't have it fixed in time for me to get up there Tuesday night. But it sounds like they had plenty of help. Didn't really matter. But apparently the first night they had a big discussion on girl hygiene with their time of the month. And so when I go up there, there's literally a poster on the bathroom for the girls' bathroom and it says tampon on it. Like Maybe I'll send the picture to you so you can post it on the website on the
Post
Facebooks. Yeah,
post this
like
along with
so I
the
apparently
episode.
so I guess the night before they had a big discussion about how to just properly dispose of your tampon. And have I
Gosh,
told you that story before about one of my tenants?
no.
I guess I can say some.
This
So
is getting into
one of my
this is
tenants,
a weird territory.
yes, well, we'll talk later. One of my tenants, she said her toilet was backing up, and we sent out a plumber. Actually, yeah, and the plumber says, yeah, her tampons are clogging the toilet,
Oh,
and so the owner's like, hey, that's her fault. She needs to pay for it. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. And the tenant kind of freaked out, saying, that's unfair. Like everybody flushes their tampons down the toilet. I'm like, I don't know a whole lot about that stuff. I know enough that I know what it is. But I'm like, I thought it was common knowledge that you throw away your tampons when you're done with it. And I've asked a bunch of girls since, and they all agree with me that my tenant is just crazy to think that she could just flush it down the toilet. I'm like, okay, I'm not crazy. But apparently they needed some direction on how to properly dispose of their tampons and not to get it on the walls and stuff like that. So
not to get it on the walls.
yeah, I don't
Okay.
know. You'll probably I didn't really want to dig into it all too much because I had to eat dinner and stuff and food. So
Hopefully, no
I
one's
think
eating
that
right
night was
now.
literally that night we had spaghetti and your mother-in-law kind of told me some stories that I'm like, okay, we're eating spaghetti. Let's not talk about this. Um, but it was fun. So I guess they had a lecture the night before about it. So that was an interesting fact. So I learned a lot more about girl problems this week than I have in a long time. I mean, I did have two sisters and a mom growing up, so I knew enough. Um, but I don't think it was till my like girlfriend in high school when she handed me one of her tampons to carry in my pocket. I'm like, what's this? And anyways, I knew about the pads, but I didn't know about the tampons. Anyways, so and I was like, yeah, a little grossed out when she told me what they do with it.
We've had a
So
lot of complaints of people saying we don't talk about girl stuff enough. Here you
yeah,
go.
here you go, here you go.
Just kidding.
Okay. After the show, I'll tell you a couple more stories, but I don't think it needs
Okay.
to go over the air.
Off the record.
Off the record. And if you're a what do you call it?
Patreon.
Patreon, we'll fill you in too.
Oh,
Um,
that reminds me. I have to say this again because if you want to send us a message, you totally can. We've got this cool feature from our podcast provider that from the link, there's a link to send us a message, text message from within your you know, your podcast, whatever you
your
use,
technology.
your technology, all the things. Let's see. So it's got a link. It says, love the show, hate the show, think it's just okay. Send us a text. You click that link, it brings you up a, a little text message. It starts trying to send a text message and it gives you some stuff, says, don't remove it, send your message. If you do that, message comes immediately directly to us. Super cool feature. One downside of it, it only gives us the last four numbers of your phone number. And there's no way of us, unless you say who you are, knowing who you are. So I bring this up because one of our listeners reached out, sent us a text message, and said they wanted to guess on the McDonald's challenge that we did, guessing what your price was. And they guessed and they got the closest. So they won. And we said, hey, let us know who you are. Well, that person heard that. I'm thinking, heard, hey, who won? And then they sent us that message again, but we still don't know who you are. So if this is you, and I'll know it's you, so somebody can't lie because it'll show the phone number again. If it's you, send us a message. Either let us know your full phone number, tell us your name somewhere we can reach you out because we want to get you your prize money.
Or just your Venmo. We'll Venmo you the money.
Yeah, send us your. I don't know if you can send your
Brandon will
Venmo.
Venmo you the money.
Wait, what?
What?
Don't forgive you
Who?
anymore.
What?
Um. So yeah, if you were the one, what was I sent you the last message they sent, just basically asking who won. And that's how I was like, oh, hey, they don't realize because
Which makes sense. I
it
would
shows the
assume
message from if someone sends multiple messages, it keeps it like in a thread, shows you all their messages.
it's like
So they
text
sent us a message
messaging.
on May 8th saying they love the show. They sent in their guests. And then on the 20th, they said, wait, who won? If this was you and you sent that message, send us another message, send us your Venmo information. We'll get you your reward. There you go.
Money, money, money. And did you hear that McDonald's is starting a $5 meal, value
What?
meal
No
this
way.
week? I think it only lasts for like a month. So
Hey, jump on that. Maybe
you don't need to use Nate's. Well, maybe I'm sure my hack is still better, but
gonna say this. Maybe you can find a way to get the $5 deal,
even
but get
cheaper.
an even cheaper one. And
Yeah, I'll figure
someone
it
will have
out.
to
Yeah, we'll
guess what
see once
that.
they release it.
There you
I
go.
think I think it started already, but if not, like maybe it's the end of the month. I don't know, but should be interesting to see what it looks like, the value meals look like.
I'm
I
excited.
think they I think I saw an article saying what they're going to be, but
McDonald's is one
a
of
whole bunch
five
of
things
people,
my kids
told
will
a bunch
eat.
of people over at the girls' camp, I don't read. A lot of people would like read books when they were down. I'm like, you don't understand. I don't read. One girl was reading the Twilight books, and I'm
Mm.
like, nope. And I said, nope. And that I had to watch the Harry Potter movies, and that's bad enough. But
Yeah,
okay,
you need to get on the
can I
next
tell you the
one.
one funny story? This is the one funny story. And if
All
you can
right.
edit this out if you don't think it's appropriate, but
I might edit out the whole
there,
first conversation we had.
okay. Um, so they have a little amphitheater, right? Where they would
Mm-hmm.
do their little presentations and announcements and all that stuff and a devotional,
Sure.
spiritual devotional. Um, but on the kind of side of it, there was like a bench that was kind of more pointed towards the audience and towards the stage. So I went and sat there, maybe anyways. One of the state president counselors sat next to me, and then one of the bishops sat next to him. And then right in front of us, like in the regular amphitheater section, there was another bishop. So we're all like four, like we could all like do a, put your hands in, let's go rah rah rah, right? We were that close together. My ward, the girls that I was with, were seated like 2 rows behind that bishop, like just basically like 4 or 5 feet behind us in the regular amphitheater. Somebody's up there just putting their heart out there to the audience. Very serious moment, right?
Right.
You're laughing already. Do you already know the story?
No, it's just an it.
Okay.
I know where it's going.
No, you don't.
I know that's gonna be good.
Yes, it was very good. I think the last time I laughed this hard was like, I think the last 2 times I laughed this hard was with you trying to record something and getting it wrong and stuff like that.
Mm.
Um, so anywho, very serious moment. We're just sitting there. A girl from our group stands up, walks down like 2 stairs, stops right in front of us. Like you could push her down, like she's that close to us, and just stops in the middle of this girl's talk or speech, whatever you want to call it, and just goes, and then turns around and goes and sits down.
What? She just
And
let
and
out a
then I'm
fart.
like, dude, that was totally gross. So I was grossed out by it. So I didn't think it was funny. She basically farts like 3 times and then turns around and goes and sits down, almost like it was like a dare, like somebody dared her to, but I don't think anybody did.
She dared
So I'm
herself
just like,
to.
I'm sitting there going, oh my gosh. In a way, I was almost embarrassed. I'm like, oh, that's from our group, right? So they're going to look at me like, but I'm like, hey, I'm not her technical leader. I'm just a supervisor this week. But the bishop to the left of me starts cracking up, which got the state counselor to crack up. The other bishop starts laughing. And so I start chuckling for literally, I think the next 10 minutes while this lady is pouring her heart out to the crowd, you know, telling very personal stuff, where it's a very serious moment. I had tears in my eyes. I was laughing so hard. I didn't even look to the left at all. Because I'm like, if I look over there, I'm done. but I put my head down, I put my hat over my eyes because I was wearing a Justin Bieber hat, and
Why?
I really was.
A Justin
Got it for a
Bieber
dollar at
hat?
MPS last year, so I wear Justin Bieber to fit in with the ladies,
Okay.
you know, so they think I'm cool and hip.
From a guy that was popular
And they did
15
that
years
night. They
ago.
played your sister-in-law played a Justin Bieber Baby Baby in the pavilion with everyone
Mm.
dancing, but that's another story. So I put my head between my hands or whatever, like my legs or whatever, like almost like I'm
Fetal
sick or
position.
whatever. I plugged my ears because I'm like I couldn't. The more they laugh, the harder I because you're not supposed to laugh, right?
Right.
And then all I could see out of the side of my left eye was that other bishop sitting in the regular pavilion, and he's like moving his body up and down because he's laughing so hard. And all four of us were laughing so hard. Then the like people in the crowd who could see us started laughing. Like our girls started laughing, and it was oh my gosh, it was the because it's like the moment where it's so serious you're not supposed to laugh, so it's even harder not to laugh
Right.
in those moments. So it was very painful. We laughed so hard. And then that night, and then we talked about it a lot, like it came up a lot, and the girl was embarrassed and kept apologizing for doing it. And we're just like, well, what, why? But apparently she says, or one of the leaders said that she stood up to go to the bathroom and she gets up a lot, this girl, and just wanders off. So they're like, oh, so she told her to sit down, but I think she really did have to go to the bathroom. I think she had Taco Bell earlier. I don't know. And so she did. So it wasn't like anybody dared her, and I don't think she meant to, but it was just like very, it was just so weird. But later well, we talked about it a few times, and everyone was just laughing. Even my daughter said it was like her favorite thing on camp. It was laughing so hard during that thing, and I'm like, well, that's sad because that girl like put a lot of time into her devotional thing, and we ruined it. I don't know if she knows us laughing, and if she did, then apologize. But I went to bed that night and I woke up like around 1 o'clock. It's dead silent, right? Because everyone's asleep. And then I started replaying it in my head. And I started laughing out. I'm all by myself. I'm in a tent all by myself, and I'm just like cracking up again. And then my daughter on the way home, like I asked her what's her favorite thing about camp, and she brought that up. And then we're both like, I'm driving, just tears in my eyes laughing again. I don't know why it's so funny, but that was the highlight of the whole trip.
That's beautiful.
Just yeah, just but you've had those moments before, especially I think as the only way I could describe. I mean, I've laughed that hard with you, but it's not because I'm not supposed to laugh. Like we're not supposed to laugh, but I always feel bad when you're in a situation where if you laugh, you could offend somebody.
Yeah.
That's the worst. That's the hardest. Like I had
But
it
the
a few times on my
funniest.
mission, but yeah, the funniest. A few times on my mission. I think I brought it up before, but where you're not supposed to laugh and you try your hardest, and you're just like, don't look at your companion, don't look at your companion, because then you'll just lose it. So yeah, that was the only thing I remember from camp. That's the only thing that matters.
How frequently do you uncontrollably laugh when it's just yourself? Maybe there's something you see or you hear that's really, really funny, but I think the effect of being with other people and that shared experience,
Oh yeah,
that's what amplifies it. Like you said, the times that you've laughed really hard has been we're recording an episode and something dumb. Usually Matt will make something funny.
yeah, yeah, stuff like that. Or remember we were doing an episode with Matt, and he wanted to use one of my jokes that I told him before, and he couldn't even get it out. So we never even heard the joke. He just started laughing so hard that you and I started laughing hard, and we don't, I mean, you were like, we don't know why we're laughing. Like he was just losing it, and we didn't
Mm-hmm.
even know why. So yeah, it is very contagious. Just like yawning or anything else, it's laughing is very contagious, and it's even funnier if the what do you call it, your surroundings, like where you're at, what you're doing. If you're not
Yeah,
supposed to laugh, then it's even harder not to laugh.
that's what's great about going to a comedy movie or something funny in the theater because then it makes it more funny by being with people and they're also laughing. Which I say is the one downside of our place we're talking about today.
The downside?
Yeah, you don't get I mean you still get to see a movie, but you don't get to laugh along with everybody because you're
Oh,
you're a little
yeah, yeah,
secluded.
yes. That's 100% true. We're obviously talking about
That's the only
the
downside.
Redwood. Well, the Redwood Theater, drive-in theater.
Redwood
And that's
Drive-In.
true
Yep.
because like sometimes going to a big movie that's it's fun being in a big crowd and everyone's going like the Avenger movies, for example. Like you
Mm,
go opening weekend, the theater's packed, everybody's clapping and cheering. I mean, I just saw a
it's
clip
a fun
from when
time.
they released episode one of Star Wars.
Hmm.
It's kind of funny, comical because people were outside the theater like sword fighting with their lightsabers, and then when the movie came, they were just like cheering like they're at a concert. So like stuff like that's fun, and you kind of lose that when you go to a drive-in because you're either in your car all by yourself or not by yourself, but with your whoever's, or you're sitting outside, and so you don't get the yeah, it's not as what's the word, cozy or intimate
Yeah, not
as
as
a normal
intimate as a
theater.
movie theater. But honestly,
But at this,
that's the only bad thing in my opinion.
that's the yeah, yeah. That's the bad thing. And oh, if we're gonna start off, let's start off with the bads. Let's get the bad out of the way.
Okay.
Bad thing number two, and I was just talking about this about a week or so ago with my little brother and somebody else up when we were up at Snowbird. That for example, when he got home from his mission, I'm like, dude, you got to go see Pirates of the Caribbean. It came out while he was out. So I took him to see Pirates of the Caribbean. And I don't remember what the other show was, but that movie's so dark,
Mm,
it's really hard to see on the drive-in screen. So if you're gonna go see like a serious dark movie, like for example, I'm sure like Dark Knight didn't really hit as well at the theater because or drive-in, you can't really see the screen that well. But like cartoons, family movies, or just a rom-com, those type of movies are are fun to see at the drive-in
yeah,
because you can actually see it.
right. So a little bit of a lighter movie.
But do you remember the last movie you saw at the drive-in theater?
I do. And it's actually perfect timing because the last movie I saw the drive-in, Inside Out.
No way.
Hmm.
That's mine too.
No way.
Not
That's
the second
crazy.
one. You're kidding me, right?
No, really.
So
That was the last.
did you see Minions and Inside Out?
Yeah. Were you there?
Yeah, I was there.
You might have been.
Or
We might have
you
been
were there.
together.
Yes, we took the kids when they were Jesus. That's how long Inside Out came out. Because Inside Out 2 is out right now, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
But we took the kids and put
It's
them in the
been
back of the
10 years,
truck.
almost 10 years.
Yeah, yeah. And I think I brought my portable like big speaker so that it would be, movie quality sound.
Right.
But I remember watching a little bit. I think Minions was first. I can't remember, but I basically slept both movies the whole time because I'm like, I'm the bed of the truck. I get to lay down. Yeah. I mean, I suffer enough in regular theaters now with those reclining chairs
Mm,
that when I go see a kid movie that I can't pay attention to. Falling asleep is hard there. But if you're completely able to lay down, yeah. So I still really haven't seen Inside Out because I was kind of in and out of Dreamland.
uh-huh.
But yeah, I think that was the last one we saw at the drive-in.
There, there might have been another one. I'm trying to remember if I've gone. I can't say I have. I think that was the last movie I've seen. And it's kind of sad because I mean, drive-in movies are fun. It's a good time,
Oh
and we
yeah,
should go see them.
yeah.
Especially so it's kind of a hot topic right now because there's been the Redwood Drive-In's been in the news
Discussions.
discussions. Maybe what we need to do is also go to a swap meet if those are still a thing. Um,
I've always wanted. I've never gone to
I
their
haven't.
swap meet, and I've always wanted to.
Yeah. If things go well, we need to go to a swap meet and then give our assessment, give our commentary on it. But it's a hot topic right now because there's discussions of the Redwood Drive-In slash swap meet being torn down and replaced by apartments
Development, yeah, yeah.
development.
Housing.
Yeah. And Yeah, changing the zoning on it, so that's what they put in instead. And I mean, I've been going to the drive-in since I was a kid. The first movie I saw in the drive-in, probably not the best movie. Well, I'm pretty sure it was the first one, but we went and saw the first Spider-Man, the Tobey
The Tobey
Maguire.
Maguire.
hmm We saw that one, and then yeah, the last one being Inside Out. But I've gone here many times to. I don't know. I mean, it's not. I wouldn't say it's as much about the movie when you go to the drive-in. Is that a fair take? Or
Um,
it's a different
I
environment.
think
Double feature is
it's
great.
yes, yes. And I know a lot of people who are deal hunters who like the value go to drive in a lot because you get the two movies and it's not terribly expensive. It's almost the same price as going to the movie theater, right?
hmm
And then if you're sneaky, you just put your friends in the trunk of the car and they get in for free. So,
So it
or you put
is.
them in the back seat with a blanket.
I want to say when I was little, I was younger, it was by the car load, but it has changed, and you do have to pay $10 for adults. Kids 5 to 9 is $1. So not terrible. It's actually way
Yeah.
cheaper than a movie,
Oh
especially on the
yeah. It's
weekend.
actually yeah. Yeah, especially the pricing now for I think I remember that too when we took the kids to Inside Out. I'm like, sweet, we're getting two movies for, you know, a lot cheaper than well, let's just look right now. So if you and I were gonna go see a movie tonight, I don't know the pricing for movies because I do have that pass, but yeah, 1180 for just one movie at the regular movie theater, the Regal Theater in Taylorsville. If you were to go to a matinee,
They don't have matinees at the drive-in, so you don't
right?
have
I'm
that
talking about the
option.
regular theater.
I know.
Shut your mouth.
You definitely wouldn't see the movie if you went to a matinee. Be way too
Yes.
light.
Oh, this one's saying, well, 590, it says value day, but
I mean, if
I
you go
don't
on a
know.
Tuesday, right?
No, it says Saturday.
Value day on a
Yeah,
Saturday?
click. So let's try it Monday. Yeah. Let's see what a regular matinee. $9.12. So basically you get into the drive-in for the price of a matinee ticket. And you get two movies at night.
You
And
can have
if I
all your
remember
snacks
correctly,
you want.
yeah, if I remember correctly too, they have the two movies, and then after those two movies are over, they restart the two movies, right? And
Really?
then so you can really watch them twice. I don't think they would come and kick you out, right? So you need to move.
They restart them?
Um, yeah, pretty sure they do, or at least
Interesting.
they did.
That seems way
And
too
then if
late.
you get bored with the movie you're watching, then you just turn your channel to the one screen next to you, and then you watch that one.
Yeah. And it's really fun if you're a little kid and or younger, maybe a teen, maybe not a little kid. If you're a teen and then they're playing a bad movie you can't go to, and you happen to sneak some peeks at that one when your parents aren't looking.
Yeah,
Definitely,
yeah.
definitely did
You watch?
that a couple
Can you
times.
watch Rambo kill them guys?
I did that. I don't remember which movie I was seeing, but I do remember that it was a scene that I was watching from the Miami Vice movie when they did that remake with, I think, Jamie Foxx.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
never
know who
saw
else
it,
was
but I know
in
what you're
it,
talking about.
but I do know it was an inappropriate scene that I saw, and I mean, excited to see it as a kid, as a teen or however old I was.
Yeah, I can see that.
Maybe
I
I
can
shouldn't
see
say
that.
excited. I was
I can see, yeah, excited is probably not
pleased.
the correct word.
I was.
Oh man.
It was good times. It was good times.
Yeah. I had a client years ago that owned one of the like condos right by it, and their one of their windows looked out at the one of the screens for the drive-in.
Mm.
It was like they could, and it luckily it was the screen they said they usually dedicate for the family films. So they could like do like the whole like pirating movie things that you when you buy a DVD or a DVD of the movie when it just comes out that weekend when you're
Oh, yeah.
in the New York or whatever, when it's really just somebody snuck in a camera to the movie theater and
Like the Jerry
films it.
Seinfeld.
So they could do that. So they could do just have like a webcam or whatever, and then they could tune and then project it to their TV or whatever, and then tune to the radio station that was playing the sound, and their kids could watch basically every kid movie that came out.
That's amazing.
What a hack. What a hack. Why would you
That's a
ever
great
move?
hack. Yeah, why would you move?
Why would you move? But that was a fun story. But my other two stories that I remember from the drive-in, one, I went with a friend who actually passed away when I was on my mission, took his Jeep, and then we had a friend where she laid down in the back and we covered her with blankets, so she got him for free.
Nice.
Sinners. And then you saw Phenomenon with John Travolta. Like
Hmm.
that was a good experience. Another time I went and I was with all my friends, like my girlfriend in high school, and my little brother wanted to come. So I can't remember. I think we got into our friend's car. He had a bigger car,
Hmm.
and my little brother wanted to didn't want to, be the fifth wheel, or whatever. So he stayed in my car and watched the film. And it was in the fall and it was flipping freezing. I think there was even like frost on the window at the end.
For
But he
real?
never like turned the car on to like heat himself up. So he was just sitting there shivering, but he was really into the movie, so he didn't care. It was one of those, it was the movie that has um Pierce, what's his name? The 007 guy, the
I don't
old
know how to
James
pronounce. I
Bond.
don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm embarrassed. Pierce Bronson, Brosman, Pierce
Pierce
Brosnan,
Braun,
Brosnan.
Brosnan. What was the movie? It was like a disaster movie. Maybe it was called Disaster, but
Pierce
Dante's
Pierce
Peak, maybe.
Bro Pierce
Dante's Peak
Brosnan.
makes sense. Yeah, and he's
Pierce
amazing in
Brosnan.
Mamma Mia, by the way. That's
Oh,
what. Well,
yes.
so yeah, it was Dante's Peak. So it was like one of those disaster movies. So I felt bad. My little brother was just sitting in my car, freezing the whole time. I'm like, you could have turned the car on and the heater on. But those are my two. Like when I think of the drive-in, I think of Inside Out, like you talked about. Think about Phenomenon, with my friend, my little brother freezing, and then that young couple who owned this place next door.
So I think of, as I mentioned, first movie I saw, and it was the first time, and I was teetering on the age where it was okay to see PG-13 movies. I wasn't probably quite 13, but my brother was pretty little, and that's so surprising my parents took us. But it was Spider-Man, so it was fun.
Yeah,
And that was always what I'd say the first PG-13 movie I saw officially was Spider-Man, and it was in
that was
the drive-in. A good first one to have. And then I think I this came up recently. I don't remember if I told you here on the podcast or just in talking. I'm pretty sure I did. That I saw Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, 3 times in one day. One of those times was at the drive-in,
3 times. I went, oh man,
but I didn't really watch it much when I was at the drive-in that time.
wink, wink, because you were watching Miami Vice.
No, I wasn't watching Miami Vice, but I was doing something else that I think frequently happens at drive-in movies.
Yeah, yeah.
Another draw for the
It's kind of
teenage
like,
crowd.
yeah, any like, especially the movies that like this, the settings like in the 50s or 60s, and they go to drive-in. It's really
I mean,
just
look at the movie Grease.
yeah,
Well, maybe not the best example of
right.
trying to hook up at a drive-in movie, but that's a lot of what people do. People like to.
Have you ever watched the Outsiders? Isn't that what they're doing? They're at the
Mm-mm.
drive-in. You never read the book Outsiders either?
I haven't actually.
Dude, it has Karate Kid in it. Ralph Macchio's in it.
In the
So
book?
yeah, he's in the book.
Okay. He's in the book adaptation.
They actually say whatever his name is, parentheses, this should be played by Ralph Macchio whenever Ralph Macchio was born. And no,
Make
I
sure
actually
you
just
make
watched
us.
that. My daughter read the book at school, and then I'm like, hey, I've never actually seen the movie. So I just watched that within the last like 6 months. I'm pretty sure
So that has a
they go
lot
to
to
a
do
drive-in.
with drive-in movies then, is what you're telling me.
Well, there, no, it doesn't. It's just like one of the scenes at the drive-in, and it's them wanting to do what you were just talking about. Oh, could you imagine? This is going to take it down a dark road, but what was that movie back in 90, probably 95, 96? It was like one of the first NC-17 movies in a long time. Girl from Saved by the Bell. Showgirls, right? You're way
Showgirls?
too young to remember that controversy. Showgirls, does that sound right?
Okay, yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, it's about like uh I think it's about a
Showgirls.
stripper or something like that.
Okay.
But I think it was like I think the big deal was like it was one of the first like NC-17 movies in a long time. And the fact that it was the girl from Saved by the Bell, like this kids
Mm.
show.
Yeah.
Um, was it? Anyways,
It was
but
Elizabeth
could you imagine?
Berkley?
Could you imagine that playing at the drive-in? And then like,
I
there's no way.
I'd
There's
have to
no
believe
way.
they wouldn't play that at the drive-in.
Yeah.
You'd hope they would. I'm sure they wouldn't, but I mean, if you look, just looking at the page right now, one of the movies slated to come out at the drive-in is Deadpool and Wolverine, and I don't think
Oh,
that's going
that
to be
one.
a show for the kids.
No,
Historically, it
no,
has not been a show for the kids.
no. And I think even this one, they're gonna probably because they got to top it every time, right? The even the trailers for it, you're like, okay.
Yeah, I don't even want my kids to watch the trailer, but you know what? I'm gonna see it.
Yeah, we're gonna see it, me and you, at the drive-in. Wait, what?
Oh yeah, let's go see it at the drive-in. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Take our families.
I'm a little nervous. Like when you said you saw Spider-Man there, was the like we talked about picture quality okay? Because that movie's
It
pretty,
is pretty dark. Yeah, that's why
it
I'm
can
like,
get pretty dark, but
I
there's
don't know if
also a
that was
lot
the
of scenes that's
best to see at the drive-in because it
this
was.
drives me nuts when it gets dark and like the scene's dark or they're outside or whatever, and or in a club, whatever it may be, and you're like, I can't, what's going on? It drives me bonkers.
Yeah. Hmm. I wonder what the other feature is going to be along with Deadpool. Maybe Twister and Deadpool. That'd be a fun one. I've never seen the
Oh,
original
I could see
Twister,
that.
but that's a show I was scared
I
of
just barely
as a kid.
watched that one for the first time too.
Maybe I'll have to watch it so that we can go to our double feature of Twister and Deadpool. Can be ready for it. But
Let's do it.
is there any other memories I have of the drive-in? Um, yeah, I went
Oh,
there for a lot of dates. It's a fun date thing because it's a little more acceptable to talk at a drive-in movie than
oh,
actual
100%.
movie. It's best if you take a vehicle with a bed, like a truck, because then you can sit in a car and still have a good time, but it's a little more fun when you have a
Make
truck.
sure you wash your windshields so you can actually
Right.
see. But a lot of
Um,
people too, if they don't have a truck, they'll even just bring their lawn chairs or whatever and
yeah, I've done
sit
that a lot of
outside.
times. And I feel like a lot of people's cars die at the drive-in because
Oh yeah, they
let
have
their
like that
car.
portable car jumper thing you
Yeah,
can probably go grab from them.
that's just something you just have to expect. There's going to be many people that won't be able to leave right away. Their cars will be stalled.
Hmm.
But overall, man, we don't really. I think there's maybe one other drive-in Utah currently. I think there one in what is it called?
The Twiddle one gone?
I don't. I was out there last year or the year before, and I still saw a spot for it. I don't know if they still do it. I'm gonna Google it. I know there's one somewhere more remote in Utah.
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine that.
Let's see. As of 2023,
Erda is the
Erda.
one in
Yeah, Erda.
Twilla.
That's what I was thinking of.
That's the one you drove by, right?
Yeah, I think that one's still in is still in existence. Shooting
Appears to
Star
be.
Drive-In is in it's like Grand Staircase area, and I think that
There's
one's
one in
still open.
Mount Pleasant.
Oh yeah, is that one still open?
Apparently it is.
So
It's
there's still a
showing up.
couple. That's there's still a couple in Utah.
Echo, one in Roosevelt. So there's a few.
Are these still around? So this thing I'm looking at only shows the three: Redwood,
I don't know.
Erda, and Shooting Star.
Maybe I'm just looking at like the Google review one. So
Drive-ins are underrated, and I mean we're talking about it today because we want to get the cheap clicks. Let's be real here, but also to show our support. Like keep the drive-in here. Like it's fun. I don't necessarily want to take my kids to it right now. They're just too young and it's too late. You need to go see it. I mean, the movies start
oh.
at 9:30. That's pretty late. I don't know if my kids are. ready to go see a drive-in movie at that point. So when they get a little older and I want to take them, I want to be able to take them to the Redwood Drive-In, and that would
Well,
stink
here's
if
the
they.
deal. Right now, if you're gonna see Inside Out, it's the Inside Out and Inside Out. So those are two movies.
Mhm.
So you might be able to make it through one movie. I don't know if they could stay up that late,
But
but
yeah, 9:30 is just really late. But what is the justification for showing it's Inside Out and Inside Out and also Bad Boys and Bad Boys?
I think because the first 2 weeks of the run, like a lot of that money goes to the
Paying for it.
distributor.
Mm.
Yeah. And then they make more money at so it's more it's a money thing. And I don't think they can
Well,
do discounts or something like that on the
I don't
first
see
two
why they
weeks.
wouldn't do like Inside Out with If and Inside Out with Garfield. Like, that seems pretty logical to me. But
They will in the next week or two, they will. But usually when it's a brand new movie, they granted we are looking at this a little bit before the I don't know what will be when this releases for this weekend, I should say,
good
because we're
point.
looking at the weekend prior to this coming out,
Good point.
this episode.
I do feel like because of this, there is a growing interest in the drive-in, and I can tell you about this two different ways. So, what made me think about this is like you, I was looking at our Facebook page, which I really don't look at that much, but they posted at the time of this episode, we're talking about it yesterday. Um, that beginning July 3rd, the drive-in will be open 7 nights a week.
Wow.
Is that usually the case? Because I feel like it's usually only the weekends. But them being open 7 nights a week, that seems, especially that they might be impending closure like that.
No, well, if you look at their website, the very top says it's open 7 nights a week. So I'm assuming that's normal. And maybe it
Okay.
has to be like more summertime
Yeah,
because the weather's still been kind of little cranky
true.
for June.
So there's something that says all movies listed are subject to change. Because there's some movies on here that don't come out till much later. Like Beetlejuice doesn't come out till September. When does the drive-in even closed?
It, I I think they go. I don't think there's like a I feel like once they feel it's going to start snowing a lot, then they
Mm,
shut down. But I bet you they try to push it out as long as they can. And I think come fall when school starts, then they go back to this the either the weekends or something like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday or something like that. Because they know not a lot of people are going to go on a weeknight when kids have school and all that good stuff.
I mean, I won't pretend to know the who's the owners of the drive-in. We don't. Maybe that's going to come out with all this talk, but if you look at the very bottom of the page, it shows two locations in South Carolina, Southern California as well. One in Riverside and one in San Diego. So I think that whoever owns the Redwood Drive-In also owns those two other ones, and I could see in California having a year-round drive-in because you can. I mean, the weather's good, mostly good. So why not utilize it all year, right?
Right. And this says on their facts section that they're open rain or shine. It's only like extreme weather conditions that they'll shut down the show.
Hmm. This is turning into a long episode, but I think it needs to be said. Just the kind of and this is from their website as well. Just the about section about the Redwood Drive-In. Um, it says it's been around since 1948. Few things say America more than apple pie, barbecues on the 4th of July, and drive-in movies. From humble beginnings in Depression era, hey, New Jersey, that's where drive-in movies were invented. I knew that.
Jersey. Cool.
To the unprecedented national phenomenon that became a definitive icon of an entire generation, the drive-in theater brought together two of the greatest American passions, the automobiles and the movies. Auto parts salesman Richard Hollingshead opened the world's first drive-in theater in Camden, New Jersey, June 6th, 1933. Its successful debut prompted others to follow, and by the mid 1950s, drive-in numbers well over 4,000, some of which held room for over 3,000 cars. By the late 1970s, television, indoor theater multiplexes, and soaring real estate values all contributed to the decline of the drive-in, and which is still happening today. Now there are just over 400 drive-ins in the United States, but those remaining have a dedicated following of devoted fans who love their movies outdoors in a pleasant family setting. The Redwood Drive-In Theater opened in 1948 and was an immediate success, drawing movie fans from all over the Salt Lake area. Since then, the theater has established itself as a destination where families and fans experience first-run movies under the beautiful Utah night sky. Over the past 70 plus years, Redwood Drive-In Theater has gone through a lot of changes. And with our all new digital projection system, we can proudly say that we have the most exciting drive-in theater experience yet. Cool. In a culture where family time has become so rare, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, uh, it's been around a long time. It would suck
Yeah.
to see something like that go. And
Yes.
uh, there's plenty of space. They're doing something at the Fundome site. There's still nothing there, still nothing built. It's gone. They're going to build apartments. It's fine. They're going to build apartments over at the old Kmart location. There's plenty of other places to put apartments. Just leave our drive-in alone, people.
Yeah.
Leave it
We
alone.
need it
We need this.
for that once every 10 years that we can go to the drive-in.
We really need
But
to
I
go.
mean, here's a thought. I mean, I have two more thoughts. Well, maybe three thoughts, but for the deal person in me, you get the two theater or as long as it's not it actually says here, it verified what I said that if it's a blockbuster or a new movie, then for restriction purposes, they can't do a double feature. But you usually get two movies, but if you wait a couple weeks, it'll be double feature. You get two movies for a very inexpensive price. You can bring in your own food as long as you don't bring in alcohol, and you can't bring a barbecue grill and grill your food out there, but you can bring in food, which can save you a ton of money. Because you could even go to the Dollar Tree store and get your theater candy that you use at or get at Cinemark and anywhere else for $4 or $5 a box, but you can get your kids and make it feel like, they're at the movies. Um, and one other thought I have, I saw the other day a video, and it has nothing to do with Redwood Drive-In, but there's actually a restaurant. Is it in Las Vegas? It's either Las Vegas or like Anaheim, or it's like a burger joint, like a restaurant, drive-through restaurant, and you order your food, and then they have a big like screen, and they're just playing a movie all the
Hmm.
time. So you can park in the parking lot, eat your food, and watch a movie. But it's always like something like Toy Story, like something not recently came out. But that's kind of a cool idea. Maybe the drive-in should do something like that, where if you a burger joint or that's what they should do. They should do like food truck night where they have a bunch of food trucks there and you go get your ticket and then buy some food from the
That
food
sounds like an
truck.
awesome idea. I mean, I think they want
Well,
to
that's good.
prioritize you getting stuff from the concession stand,
Sure,
but
because there's a lot of money to be made like that.
but if you charge people enough to come in and bring their trucks, I mean, is there space for that with all the cars? Maybe
Oh
not.
yeah, in the back. Like there's totally
Is there plenty of
yeah.
space?
Yeah, I would put them like, I don't know. You'd
That
have
would
to
be
figure out a
so
spot to put
cool.
them.
Dude,
Yeah, but you could walk
let's
over towards the
I'm gonna edit
food
this out.
stand
We're gonna
and
start a new business. We're
yeah,
gonna
a
start our
drive-in
own
with food
drive-in
trucks.
theater with food trucks included,
Dinner and a movie, right?
dinner and a movie. And if you guys are making out, we don't care. We'll let you do it.
I wonder how many people, another thought I have, like stay for the double feature and maybe the movie starts over again, so they start watching it again and then fall asleep and then like the movies are over for the night. I don't know what time that finishes, like 2, 3 in the morning. They have to go
Mm,
like pound on people's windows and say, "Get out of here,"
right. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
you know. But but yeah, let's save the theater. Everybody go watch a movie, write your local government
Congressman.
person and I'm
Right.
a
The worst part about it all is who are the people that want to be developing the location?
Oh, they had a guy on the news.
Everybody's favorite Utah home developer.
Is it Ivory?
No, I'm being facetious. The one everybody
Oh,
hates. Edge.
oh, it is Edge. That's yeah, yeah,
Everybody hates Edge
yeah.
because of those houses in Draper that like they had the
Fell off
landslides and
the
fell off the
cliff.
mountains. Edge just
Yeah,
they can't catch a break. Maybe their homes are great. I'm not trying to badmouth them, but like, do they want to keep doing things that make people hate them? Like having these poor
being in the
quality
news. Do they really want
location
to keep being in the
being
news?
in the news for the wrong reasons. That's what I'm saying. So Edge, find another place. There's plenty of places. Even go out in Erda. Don't even take the driving out there, but there's plenty of places to build apartments in Erda. I don't know if anyone wants to live that far out of Salt Lake, but just go
Well, now you
somewhere
just can
else.
tick off. Now you're gonna tick off the Twilla people.
Erda's way cool, actually. I like that area. I mean, I don't know
I
if I.
wanted to try that drive-in. I think that drive-in would be fun to go test out.
Hey, we can do a whole episode on that. I'll reach out to the
Twilla.
people of Erda for an episode. Last thing, what we need to do, and it's because I always forget to do this. We need to look at the reviews, Nate. What are the people saying? What are the people saying about the Redwood Drive-In? And this is another reason why I think there's been an uptick because there's been a lot of reviews lately. People are going and they are checking out the drive-in. Emily said she loves the drive-in movies, but wishes they would have different movies for the first and second on every screen. We hear you, Emily, but that's just the way it works. I think she's complaining about having to see Inside Out twice.
Like, well, then let's go pay to watch another movie.
Recent reviewer said, absolutely a terrible experience. Wait in line for 45 minutes with my toddler in car, get to the front of the line, and I'm told the movie is sold out, and I have to turn around and leave. There's nothing posted saying when a movie is sold out. I don't think they know.
Well, they don't pre-sell their tickets.
Is
There's
it?
not.
It's like a movie. Like you go to a movie, and
Yeah, remember
like
when movies used to sell out?
when the seats are filled up, they're filled up. Like the person in the car in front of you could have been the person filling that last seat in the drive-in theater. Like that's just how it works. But I can see why you'd not realize that works that way because it's so easy to get a theater ticket now because you can, do it beforehand. It doesn't work with the drive-in. And I think the drive-in is a cash only place anyway.
Well, the drive-in is old school movie theater too, right? Where you didn't have assigned seatings back in the day. You just showed up, and if you were there late to the movie, then you sat either in the very, very front or in odd spots because there was enough space for anybody. I think we're just spoiled thinking that you deserve a spot.
Another person says 1 star because you can't give zero. Our favorite comment. If I could give this zero, I would. Why on earth would you show previews to multiple R-rated movies with demonic themes and murder at a Disney Pixar's family-friendly movie? And to that I say, it's not their fault. They're not the ones picking the previews. This person gives it 2 stars because they said back in the day it used to be jam-packed and now it's not.
Hmm.
Interesting. I'm gonna give this place a bad rating because there's not more people here.
Hmm.
But that was before all this news broke, so it's probably jam-packed now. That's my assumption. Another person complaining about the double features of the same movie. I don't think that's gonna change. I got approached by 2 men and they took my receipt. This was after we had paid for the 3 people that are in my car. That's for the seat, and I gave it to them. And they told me that I only paid for 2 people. Then I told them they were wrong and to let me see the receipt. They then declined and would not give it back to me. We have video and pictures of the whole experience, and I am actually really mad because I have been here before and I love the experience. I had to pull out my bank statement and show them that I had paid the $30 entire entrance fee for 3 people, and then they gave me my receipt. My favorite part about this whole situation is that my receipt said that I paid the $30 and they were just wasting my time.
That's a weird situation. I
That's
actually
a,
kind of agree with him. Like if you're saying you only paid for two, then why? I don't know. I wonder if it was like some kid trying to pocket an extra $10 or something.
maybe. I bet that's something they're sensitive about because people try and sneak people in. People try and put
Oh
people
yeah.
under blankets,
Oh
you
yeah.
know.
It's kind of like people who sneak in snacks to the regular movie theaters. but with people.
This person was upset because they said they wanted to see Boogeyman, but the woman misunderstood and charged me for two people and the movie for Transformers. After I parked, a man came up to us saying we need to leave or else we'll get a court date. I asked if there was any way to resolve this, and he said no. We need to leave. We left. Awful experience. I wish we could have worked it out.
Why do they have to leave
I don't
if
know.
they paid for them? There's some missing information in that one.
There's always missing information in a 1-star review, usually grammar.
Yes.
But for all the negative reviews, this place has a 4.4 stars from 2,500, almost 2,600 reviews. This person says they wish that the screen was bigger. The popcorn was really good, but waiting in the line takes forever. So I suggest getting your snacks and drinks 10 to 15 minutes before your movie. Also suggest getting a Bluetooth speaker that can access the local radio station. But overall, it's a decent movie drive-in theater, and I love the nostalgic vibe it has. This person says, great date night, so nostalgic and fun summertime activity. The screens are great quality, and the sound can be played directly from your car window or car radio, which is very convenient. Concessions are very decently priced and not overpriced, like you said, like you would see in a movie theater. Recommend getting there early to secure a good spot. So overall, I think people like it's nostalgic, it's fun. People like us need to make sure that we're going more frequently because, maybe part of why they were thinking of closing it is because people weren't going. People forgot it exists and aren't patroning it as much as they were. But all in all, we are pro drive-in theater. Please keep the Redwood Drive-In around.
Save the clock tower. Wait,
Save the drive-in.
Save the drive-in.
Yes. That is something that would be fun if they showed vintage movies, actually. That would be a
That
plus
wouldn't be a
up.
bad idea. That
Like
would be a bad
Back to the
idea.
Future in the drive-in, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let us know your memories from the Redwood Drive-In and what movies you've seen. Just the good times you've had there. And this is just a call to action. Make sure you're going checking it out so they know that we want to keep it around.
Yeah. And join us for This Is a Place night on July.
July. Let's come up with a date. July 27th. Is
Where
that
they're going to do a special for you get two movies for the price of one for it's in our name.
yeah, and we're gonna watch Deadpool. Deadpool versus Wolverine.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
And
great.
reach out to us if you're going to come with us to watch Deadpool
And
and
we will
Wolverine.
put you in the back of Nate's truck and throw some blankets over you.
If it's working. Or if I
That's a
get a
good
new
point.
truck.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get a really big truck to fit all our
It
5,000
says no
listeners.
buses. You can actually bring like an RV. It says you can bring, I think, Sunday through Thursday, you can bring an RV.
You just hide people
We
in
have
the
to park it in the
bathroom.
back. Huh?
Just hide people in the bathroom. Yeah, there's
Oh,
nobody
I
else.
wonder how they
There's
do
nobody
that.
else in the
Yeah.
RV. They like go through
Yeah.
and search it.
Is this like border control now where people are hiding underneath?
Yeah, you have something cut out under the seats so people can hide under the car.
Yeah.
I don't know, but we're excited to see you there. Let us know if you're coming. It'll be a good time. Thank you for listening to This Is a Place podcast.
And this was a place we just talked about.